back to part 2 of sailing single-handed Suffolk to Amsterdam. This is me, Sam, in my Nicholson 32 stowaway. In the first episode we sailed across the North Sea. Took about 29 hours from Suffolk, the River Orwell, to Immersive at the mouth of the Noordzeekanal. From here we'll head up the Noordzeekanal and all the way into Amsterdam. I hope you enjoy this episode. Give us a thumbs up if you do. Cheers! Well, I've had a bit of a kip, and this wind has dropped, which is quite nice. Slept like a log last night. Started watching a film, and then next thing I know, it's morning. Fantastic. Gonna get ready for a couple of days of mad sightseeing. I've got probably until Friday morning, which gives me 2 days. It's not very long, but I need enough time to get back to the UK. The weather's looking fine. It's a little bit light for going back, but hey ho. Plenty of boats moving out of the marina, heading up the river or out to sea. Okay, so I'm going to be leaving off here in hopefully about another half an hour, and heading towards Amsterdam. I've got to go through what is called the Zuidersluis. The South Sluice. There's a sort of a number of sluices into the canal, and yeah, there's obviously 2 of those. I think there's 2 of those which are quite large commercial-based sluices, which recreational boats don't go through. But the South Sluice is for the recreational or smaller boats which are travelling sort of west to east. I'm pretty nervous about it, to be honest, because I am solo, and this boat does funny things in certain situations, and the engine doesn't always, you don't put it in reverse and you go in reverse. You put it in reverse and you go left or right. It's just weird. So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about it, but I've just got to sort my lines out, just so that I've got all areas covered, and gonna get out a couple more fenders, I think. So yeah, let's see how it goes. I think the next the challenge before that is actually getting out of this marina, because the stern is facing the wind, and yeah, that is going to be quite a challenge as well. So I've got all my lines positioned everywhere. I've got midship, stern and bow all covered on both sides. Now the thinking was that I could either reverse here and try and turn around just off the pontoons in open water and then make out for the exit, or I could use the available space next to me in that corner there on the left to then manoeuvre the boat so that the bow was facing the wind. So this is the more preferred option. So with the help of a couple of other yachties who I got talking to, it's agreed I could use them to make life a little easier for myself. This way I wasn't going to risk hitting anything shinier than stowaway, which to be honest was 99.9% of the other boats in the marina. If anyone's ever skippered a boat in the day skipper or in the yachtmaster, you'll know that actually it's very, very easy to steer or control in reverse. These new boats, they're designed for the charter industry in the Mediterranean. Ease of control in tight quarters. Nicholson 32 is not one of those boats. It's a long keeled, very, very heavy displacement for its size. So you need to just treat it with a bit more respect, especially in close quarters. But we got the old goal round and made for the exit, no problems at all. I had, as mentioned, all my lines covered on both sides. I had absolutely no idea what to expect when I got into the lock. Didn't know if there were going to be any, what the cleat configurations were going to be, how many boats were going to be going through or anything. So I just needed to be ready really for any situation. Just requested clearance to come in. She said coming via the south lock, so I may have to just spin around. Man, this is a huge port. So I just missed the lock in. I saw the other two boats go in and opened up the engine, but they closed it on me, so never mind. I wasn't able to get them on the radio until a lot sort of closer, if you like. So when the outcoming traffic had cleared from the lock, I was given the green light to enter. I was the only one in the lock, which has its pros and cons. The pros being you're not going to bash into anything if your ropes aren't long enough or you get entangled around your feet or whatever. The cons being that actually there's nothing to stop you until the other end where the gate is. Sometimes with a full lock it's easier to gain a bit of control, like stop the boat from moving from side to side if you're all bunched in. I kind of prefer this scenario because of what you're about to see here. So the wind's still sort of blowing me down into the lock, and it's got quite a decent momentum still from the engine. I missed the first post. Boat starts going off into the middle of the lock. I try and do some fancy manoeuvre which involves more probably thrust than I actually need, so it spins the boat round into all sorts of situations. Managed to get the stern line round one of the posts. I'm still only the middle of the lock here, so it looks like I'm almost the end, but actually it is massive in there. So yeah, no issues after the stern line was secured, and yeah, boat straightened up enough for me to get the midline down. The bow line was in about 1 million different knots, but thankfully I didn't actually need to use it with the stern and the midship line secured. So you didn't see what happened there, but some rope doesn't want to get unknotted. So I was only in the lock for maybe a couple of minutes, and then the doors opened at the other end, and we were given the green light to enter the Noordzeekanal. From the police, they just reminded me to stay really close to the bank and keep out of the main river as much as possible. They said something like 5 meters at all times. It's fair enough. I just hope the fishermen can get the rods out of the way quick enough, because I've seen quite a few fishermen along these banks. I think some of the traffic that comes down here is extremely large, so it's only for my safety really. I think maybe he meant to say the 5 meter contour line. To serve 5 meter depth here, plenty. Feels like you could jump out onto the riverbank, to be honest. Here it is, we're in Amsterdam. So about 10 minutes away from Sixhaven Marina. I've just gone past the new Amsterdam Marina. Now the reviews that I've read on Sixhaven is that they do fill up quite quickly and it's really tight in there. Not recommended for vessels over 36 feet. And definitely with crew for any other vessel. So I'm a little bit apprehensive about Sixhaven, but it's a turn, well, it is like an arrive and turn up sort of first come first serve basis on the berths. You have to, there's no reservation involved with that, you just have to turn up and then, yeah, find a spot. The beauty of that is it's very, very close to Amsterdam, right in the centre, literally opposite Central Station, so it's just a small foot ferry across to the main city, if you like. So it's getting busier and busier in the river now. So I've got all my fenders out ready. I don't really want to be messing around with them as we're coming into Sixhaven. So yeah, it's big industrial works just over there. Bend in the river here. You still got to keep to the right because there's stuff coming down the other side of the river you can just see over there. Sixhaven Marina was my first choice, but looking at the entrance and how crammed it looked inside the marina, I decided to head for Amsterdam Marina instead. I couldn't hail Sixhaven on the VHF radio either, so couldn't guarantee a spot. It's like musical boats. So here I am in Amsterdam Marina. I've decided to come up here because the entrance to, and actually the marina itself, to Sixhaven looked extremely squished. Very, very narrow entrance. And also I couldn't hail them on the VHF and I couldn't call them on their number either. I didn't want to get in there and then find myself having to like try and bend my way out of there. It was ridiculous. So I came back, it's only like 30 minutes back to the new Amsterdam Marina, and this place is quite big, about 650 berths in total, and yeah, it's really clean, really new, and I've just paid my fee and it's come out at €58 for a 32-foot boat for 2 nights, which isn't that bad at all. Electrics, Wi-Fi, all the rest of it. So only slight issue is I couldn't get them on the VHF, and I think it's because yeah, they have a channel I don't have on my VHF, not on my main set or my handheld. It's channel 31. I couldn't hail them on the radio, and in the end I just called them. so on my mobile. So I'll have to have a little bit of a research into why I haven't got channel 31. Maybe you guys know. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's a bit frustrating. So yeah, if you're coming over here and you haven't got channel 31 on your VHF set, then just read into it. Just find out if you can get that set up, or if it's just a quick download to update the software or something like that. I'm no expert on these things, but yeah, just a word of caution really. So I've got 2 nights here, and that takes me up to Friday morning. Friday I'm heading back out to Immersive, up to Immersive. It takes you about 3 hours to get locks there, and then I'm going to head straight out. I've just got to call in at the douane to check my passport out for customs. There's a small pier just on the south side of the main canal before you go through the Zuidersluis, a small one, and go up to the office and then get my passport stamped, and then off I go again. So yeah, it saves me a fee in IJmuiden Marina having to come in there again. So I'll head straight back out into North Sea and make my way back to Suffolk from there, which should take me into Saturday, so we'll see. Hot today. I'm gonna go, there's a bar just over there, and I'm gonna go grab myself a beer, chill out for a bit, and then maybe go and have a look around Amsterdam. So it took me about 25 minutes to get from Sixhaven Marina to Amsterdam Marina, which might sound like a long way away from Amsterdam, but with these walk-on ferries, it takes no time at all, and they run all the way to midnight, which is perfect. They're also free, which is pretty awesome. I was looking around for a kiosk, but you literally jump on, and after about 10 minutes you're in the centre of Amsterdam. Just found a pretty cheesy shop. So I was doing a bit of a Google and discovered that there are 820,000 residents in Amsterdam, but they receive a massive 20 million tourists every year, which is pretty impressive. I was having a little stroll around the first evening and found this pretty interesting rubber duck shop. So the first night had me out in drinking in Amsterdam. It was quite fun, but I nearly missed my ferry back to the Docklands. The last one came back at 12, but thanks to Google, got me back in good time. But it did take me down a few pretty colourful streets, must admit. So I plan to have a look around, look at a few museums. There's there's about 90 museums in Amsterdam, which is pretty mad. So I wasn't sure which one I was going to see, but I was happy just to walk around and soak in the atmosphere. It's a pretty cool, like, mural type thing on the walkway under Central Station here. So I tried to get into the Van Gogh Museum, but yeah, they're out of tickets today, and I also bought the wrong ticket. So there's a Van Gogh Rembrandt, which is also open for viewing. It's like an immersive experience, and they sell it as part of the ticket bus tours, but unfortunately it's the wrong one, and it's 40 minutes the other way to Central Station, where I've just walked from. So yeah, don't fall for that one. There's loads of people doing it. Yeah, lessons learned. Well, I still had another 89 museums to choose from, so I went to the Heineken Brewery Museum instead. Probably one of the better beers in my fridge. Founded in 1864, when a 22-year-old Gerard Heineken bought a brewery known as the Haystack in Amsterdam. By 1873, the brewery's name was changed to Heineken. with a second brewery being opened in Rotterdam. The museum actually covers the growth of the company from the 1870s onwards really well. The different owners, basically most of them are the sons the sons of the previous owner took over and developed their new ideas, etc., into the company, which continued its growth. And it covers the obviously the brewery itself, where the fermentation process took place. These big fermentation vessels. Obviously, back then we didn't have the heat sources like we have now, so the mash had to be brought up at different temperatures gradually, different vessels, and then all the stuff like separated out in the vessels before it was bottled. So after a few glasses of the freshest Heineken I could drink, it was off to the Noordzeekanal, where the artists Van Gogh and Rembrandt first met. This has been turned into like an experience of Van Gogh's inspired work by Rembrandt, and is projected onto the ceilings and walls of the church.
This is a story of talent and inspiration. A story of two artists sharing a bond beyond time.
So I'm off to find the customs office. Apparently it's on the west side of the Zuidersluis. Worried about that. That looks quite low to me. I was reading about 80 a little while ago, now it's 75. So yeah, I'll be totally honest, I think this is an ill-planned trip. I'm still out here and I'm still getting pretty low on fuel, and I've still got 35 nautical miles to run, so I'm not clear of it yet.